Bruce Lee was a sensational action superstar from the 60s who is still remembered for his incredible work in Hollywood. Although he was only featured in 6 feature films, his charismatic personality and epic martial arts skills made him the king of cinema. So we will pay our tribute to one of the best action movie heroes ever lived by showcasing 10 of his best moments. Make sure you watch the video entirely and leave a like for Bruce Lee. Let's start the video. Number 10. The Street Alley Fight in Way of the Dragon. Way of the Dragon was the first film that brought him to the international media's attention. He played Ting Lung's character, and in this fight scene, he came across some street thugs who were inclined to beat him senseless. They chose the wrong person to mess with, as Bruce Lee takes out his most trusted and favorite Chinese weapon, nunchaku, and delivers killer blows to the enemy, and he didn't stop until every lousy guy had learned his lesson. His quickness and fantastic skills with these chain sticks are legendary. Number 9. NBA player fight in Game of Death. Lee was starred in Game of Death the same year Way of the Dragon was released. This movie was made in a video game-like fashion as he fought terrible guys on different levels. As we see in a video game, the size and proportion of the foes got bigger. As he reaches to fight the final boss, they resembled a comic character as well. Bruce Lee was short, sleek, yet muscular, while his last opponent in the movie was a 7-foot 2-inch man called Mantis, played by pro basketball player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It is one of the most memorable moments for Lee and basketball fans at the time. Even though Jabbar couldn't kick above his waist, it was still high enough to land a few blows to Lee's face, which pit these two against each other almost perfectly and entertainingly, including leaving a giant footprint ingrained in Lee's chiseled solar plexus. Number 8. The Revenge Fight in Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee had done many bad guy killings in this movie, and the unfortunate victim of the film was American martial arts expert Robert Wall, who played O'Hara. The enemy in the movie was responsible for killing Lee's sister. Thus, he saw Bruce Lee's wrath unleash upon him. The two, Lee and Wall, were shown going down a traditional martial arts style battle arranged by a drug lord. Broken glass bottles were used as weapons. However, Lee won the fight without much effort. The only thing that would have made the scene even better would be Steven Seagal's appearance to antagonize Wall himself. Number 7. The Basement Fight in Enter the Dragon. Another scene from Entering the Dragon was the underground-style battle between Bruce Lee and a horde of enemies. He finds himself in basement-style warehouses, bustling with enemies who all have eyes on him. The fight starts with fists, but quickly turns into a brawl with sticks and rods. Eventually, he brings out his favorite weapon, the nunchakus, and whoop their asses. Lee lays the smackdown on everyone involved and showcases his expertise with weapons. Number 6. The Nunchaku Fight in the Game of Death. Not very long into the film, Lee gets into a fantastic fighting sequence with Dan, the third-floor guard, played by Dan Inosanto. Lee and Dan were very close friends. This added to the fight's feel, and their chemistry played out entirely on screen with their fantastic fight choreography. Number 5. Chuck has always been famous for his impressive fight scenes in the sub-80s and 70s movies before becoming an internet meme legend. Please leave it to him to display. And a unique fight scene with Bruce Lee successfully let his opponent win over his American audience with high praise and cheers. The result turned out to be an epic fight scene. Chuck played the role of a guy cold, and Lee pulled every move he had up his sleeve to take down the worthy opponent. Number 4. The Knife Deflecting Fight in The Big Boss. Bruce Lee's first film, The Big Boss, otherwise known in America as Fists of Fury, was also his darkest and most brutal. This movie, and of course Bruce Lee's command of his skill, changed the landscape of martial arts forever. As Bruce Lee battled his way through gangs of bad guys to defeat the evil mob boss, Hisao Mi, in an epic fight scene with a knife, Hisao Mi takes out a large knife in the climatic battle sequence and tries to slice the young Bruce Lee. Number 3. The Karate School Fight in Fist of Fury. Quentin Tarantino paid regards to this incredible fight scene in his movie Kill Bill when Uma Thurman faced the crazy 88 army of thugs in Orin Ishii. The gang's iconic sequence surrounding her in a circle where she pulls out her sword and everyone backs up in horror was taken straight from this scene in Fist of Fury, otherwise known in the US as the Chinese Connection. In this scene, Bruce Lee takes on dozens of Japanese karate school students and their master with a ton of excellent quick fights with each of the students, who are hilariously and quickly made an example. Number 2. Mirror Fight in Enter the Dragon. Arguably the best martial arts-based movie ever was Enter the Dragon. And it is not a coincidence one of the best fight scenes was in the film. At the end of the movie, it takes place between Bruce Lee and Diabolical Han, played by Shi Keen. Lee finds himself in a room filled with mirrors where Han attacks him from the shadows. Since Lee cannot tell which one is the real Han, he breaks all the mirrors. Han wore a claw in his hand that left Wolverine-style cuts on Lee's body. Lee even licks his blood for a rage boost and ends up being the hero in this fantastic fight sequence. Number 1. The Ice Factory fight in The Big Boss. The best Bruce Lee fight scene occurs in the Ice Factory in The Big Boss, where all of Lee's cousins are somehow murdered by the local crime boss, including his girlfriend. This Ice Factory sequence is so intense and outlandish and features Bruce Lee taking on a legion of henchmen, which eventually leads to the outdoors. And there it is, guys! I hope you enjoyed today's video. Mention your favorite Bruce Lee moments from our list and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you at the next one.